Have you ever looked at the massive Kasubi tombs and wondered how people built something so grand without modern cranes for lifting these materials? History acts as the collective memory of our nation. It's the ongoing story of how we became who we are today, from the languages we speak to the borders we live within. When we study how those people organized their rules and leadership, we're looking at political education. It helps us understand how power has always worked in our society. To see our story clearly, we have to look for the traces our ancestors left behind, the evidence that explains how they survived. Without these connections to the past, a nation loses its sense of self. Understanding our origins allows us to build a future based on real experience rather than guesswork. One of the most common ways we learn is through oral tradition. These are the stories and legends passed down by word of mouth, often from an elder to a child. Hearing a story directly from a grandparent captures the emotions and culture of a community in a way no book can. However, as stories travel through generations, some details can fade or change. Another way we look back is through written records. These are pieces of paper that survived the years, like early missionary diaries or the 1900 Baganda Agreement. Paper records are helpful because they preserve exact dates, but they usually only show the perspective of the few people who were able to read and write at the time. Since human memories can be selective and paper can be destroyed, we often need to find physical evidence to get the full story. Sometimes the past is literally buried. By carefully brushing away the earth to recover items from centuries ago, we are using the method of archaeology. These physical items, like an iron spear or a clay pot, are called artifacts. Think of them as physical witnesses that show us exactly how our ancestors worked and lived. This chart shows the balance between our methods. Oral tradition is free but can change. Written records are precise but limited to the literate. Archaeology provides hard evidence but is very expensive to perform. For the thousands of years before humans invented writing, these physical objects are the only way to prove how people actually survived. We find much of this evidence at historical sites. These are the specific locations where important events happened or where ancient structures are still standing. In Uganda, we find a rich collection of places, from the Nyero rock paintings in the east to the Kasubi tombs and Namugongo shrines. The wider region holds even more history, like Fort Jesus on the Kenyan coast or Kilwa in Tanzania. At a place like Nyero, you can still see the red circular patterns painted onto the rocks by people who lived hundreds of years ago. Mapping these specific locations shows that East Africa has a shared, tangible history that we can still touch today. So why does a modern, developing country work so hard to protect these old places? These sites are a major engine for tourism. People travel from all over the world to see them, which brings in foreign exchange that helps our entire economy grow. Some sites remain active centers for the community. Every year, millions of people gather at Namugongo for prayer, education, and shared remembrance. This activity creates a livelihood for the local community, providing jobs for tour guides who tell our stories, security teams, and people selling local crafts. Historical sites are active assets. They generate revenue that supports the modern families and businesses living right next to them. Looking back helps us stay grounded in who we are, ensuring we never lose the origins of our cultures and ethnic groups. By learning from the leadership and the mistakes of those who came before us, we gain the tools to maintain peace and good governance today. The past is a living foundation. By protecting these stories and sites, we are making sure that the future of Uganda is built on a solid understanding of our own strength.